you for joining me for ECCFit core workout. Before we begin, I just wanted to take a few moments and talk about a couple of things. What is the core? So I think there's a misunderstanding. A lot of people think it's just the stomach, and that is a part of the core, but the core are the muscles from the neck, the chest, and the shoulders, all the way down to the hips. So that's the core, and that includes the back of the body and the front of the body in that area. And it's important to have a strong core because it gives the body balance and stability. Without that stable middle, you have issues with misalignment, and you will be more prone to injury, and your balance will not be what it needs to be. So it's important to have a strong core. A spiritual analogy, which I love, is from Ephesians 5:18, where it tells us to be filled with the Spirit. That is a very powerful verse. First of all, to know God and be filled with His Spirit is very important, because without that Spirit, that core, or that truth of knowing and pursuing God, then you don't have stability in your life. You are tossed around with every wind of doctrine, everything that comes along, everything everyone says. You don't have the core stability in Scripture or just even knowing God. So being filled with the Spirit, obviously knowing God and being filled with His Spirit, is your core stability in the spiritual world. Let's begin. We were just going to have some stability exercises here, and they will be followed by strength and some rest. So I hope you'll join me. Go ahead now and just take a few minutes here and bring those shoulders up toward the ears. Again, we're going to do a little warm-up here. We're going to link the breath here in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good. And then let's reverse that. Good. And again, this is done in the comfort of your own home. I'm not wearing a mask. I'm actually at a little studio space that my friend has offered me, but you at home would not have to go anywhere and wear a mask. So you can do this at any time of the day, and I hope you'll enjoy it. All right, let's go ahead now and do some seated side stretches. So bring the feet in close to the body, and if this isn't available to you and you want to bring them out a little further, if you don't have a lot of flexibility in the hips, that's fine. Otherwise, we're going to bring them in just a little bit, and we're just going to reach overhead using the breath, and we'll come over. So let's begin now to pull that navel in toward the spine. So it's not a big movement where you're curling over. You're just going to begin to embrace the core, which means it's there, and you're going to pull it in toward the navel, toward the spine. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. Nice, easy movement, and just use the breath here. This is a great way to warm up. That breath just energizes the body and opens everything up for movement. Good. All right, so just check out what we're going to be doing here in the stability exercises, and make sure that you're checking in with your core as we're doing this, so pulling the navel in. Let's go ahead and turn. Use the breath. We're going to sit up nice and tall, and the breath comes out. And even if you don't have 30 minutes to do this, you might just want to do the warm-up here to get your back and your core warmed up for the day. And again, I want you to feel free to do whatever you can do, but hopefully go to 30 minutes. Good, back and forth. You know that we're not really holding anything statically here. We're not stretching, we're warming up. Kind of a dynamic movement here. Warming up the spine and the core. My hips are relaxed, my neck is relaxed, my shoulders are down. And again, we are turning and warming up the whole core, which is the middle of that body, all the way down to the hips. A few more. Don't forget to breathe. Good. Let's do one more each side. Make it feel good. This is your time to move your body. No judgment, no pressure. And let's go ahead now. Come up to the hands and knees. Okay, so we're going to stack our knees right underneath our hips, and we're going to stack our hands right underneath our shoulders. So once you're in that position, open the knees about hip width, And just relax the back here, and we're going to take a nice breath in, and we're going to pull that navel in toward the spine and drop that head. So go ahead and do that, and we'll come back. Now let's go ahead and link the breath here. We're going to take a nice breath in and breath out as we pull the navel in toward the spine. Good. Let's do about 3 more of those. Again, don't forget to use your breath here. Take a breath in and breath out as you gently roll the navel in. You can come up a little higher this time, looking between the legs at your toes or your feet. I've got my toes curled under, but you can feel free to just keep the toes flat. I like to open up those toes a little bit. Let's do 1 more. Take a breath in and out. Good. Let's come to that tabletop position. Let's go ahead and take the arm out to the side and the other arm out to the side. Again, what we're doing here is just warming up the shoulders a little bit. We're going to use those in some planks and some things we're going to do for the core strength part. Open up the body. And now we're going to begin to breathe in and out as we open a little further. It's a little bit of a twist. Keep that core pulled in into a nice tight position. The other side. So we're just literally keeping a 90-degree angle bend in that arm as we just lift that elbow toward the sky a bit. And this should feel good. This whole workout should feel good because you're going to do whatever feels good for your body. You're not going to push beyond what feels right for you today. Just move and feel good. Last time, we're going to reach that elbow up to the sky. And then let's go ahead and come on back and sit on our heels. Okay, give us a nice little stretch here. Walk those fingertips around to one side, opening up the side body. Breathing. Walk the fingertips to the other side. Open up that side body. Let's do 1 more because this feels so good. Use the fingers. You can warm them up and just open up that side body. And we won't hold it real long, and we'll go to the other side. Good. Nice. All right, let's go ahead and sit up, and we'll come to a seated position. If you're at home, you can sit toward the camera, or you can sit this way, whatever you'd like to do. I'm going to sit toward you so that you can see what I'm doing here in this movement. So go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Roll those shoulders up and down. A couple more. Just getting ready here. All right. Let's go ahead and bring the hands to the front. We're just going to do some roll back. So actually, I think I will go to the side here so that you can see what that roll back looks like. You're seated nice and tall on the sits bones here. And you're going to breathe out as you tuck the pelvis under and roll back. Just a tiny little tuck and a roll back. Rolling back up off the sits bones again, nice and tall. Keep the core engaged as you gently roll off the sits bones, core's engaged, and reach those hands long. Okay, let's do 3 more of those. Warming up the core. Again, these are warm-up stability exercises, and then we will get into the deep strength and a little stretch at the end. Good. Roll back, use the breath now. Breathing is good. We don't take those nice deep breaths enough to cleanse our lungs. Give us rest in the last time. Good. All right, let's go ahead and come up. Now I will stay to the side here so that you can see the next movement. I'm going to go ahead and begin to lift those feet up off the mat, keeping the core engaged with a gentle tuck. And you're going to come off the sits bones into what's called the sacral area, which is the mid-glute. We're going to lift those knees up. So this is too hard for you. Feel free to just leave one foot down and hold the other up. Okay? So let's try that as we go back and forth here. Breath comes out. Try not to hold your breath. And keep that core engaged. And then if you want, you can bring both knees up, holding underneath for support. And let's just breathe here for a few breaths. My shoulders are down and relaxed. My elbows are into the body. And let's just breathe here. Nice and easy. I hope you're doing okay. This looks good. I'm just telling you that if I can see you at home, I'm sure that you would be just looking great. So thank you for joining and doing what you can do today. all in this together. All right, let's go ahead and bring the toes down and sit up nice and tall, arching that back. We'll do 2 more sets of those. So pick your layer. If you want to tick-tock those feet, keeping the navel pulled in, or you can bring both knees up and just hold it. Shoulders relax and down, elbows under the body, and just breathe here. Just breathe normally. This is a great strength move for the core, the whole core, the low back, and the hips. You can feel the hips working as you're holding these knees up. Good. Let's do 1 more. So sit up nice and tall, arch that back. Breathing out. As you come back with the knees up. And if you want to bring these knees onto an unbent position, these are bent obviously. If you want to unbend those knees and bring the feet up, feel free to do that as well. Just keep your support with the hands. And let's hold it for a few breaths here. Good. Last time here, we'll sit up nice and tall. And let's take a nice forward fold here before we get into our strength work. So sit up nice and tall and grow out of the top of that head so that you're lengthening that spine, the vertebra between, just the vertebra all the way up needs to be lengthened. So pull that navel in, sitting up nice and tall. And then let's go ahead and bend those knees just a bit and fold forward. So as opposed to rounding forward, let's hinge forward, using the hips to hinge forward. Reach for those toes. You can reach for the shin, the outer foot, or the arch. And if you want to begin to straighten those knees so that they're not as bent but soft, you can do that. Coming forward. I like to keep mine bent just a bit because then I can kind of move into a little deeper stretch here for that low back. And breathe. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and come back up. We're going to lie down. So go ahead and roll down. If you're at home on your carpet or your mat, whatever you're on is fine. You can even be on your bed. And we're going to get into a position where we're going to be doing some sit-ups here. So bring your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart here. You can see my knees are bent. Let's take the hands behind the head. Gently touch those fingertips onto the back of the scalp here. We're going to engage the abs now, so just that little tuck under as we come up. Nice breath in and out, and we're going to reach that nose up to the sky. So we're not going to be using the neck as much here as we're going to be using the neck to come up this way. Nose toward the sky and down. Pull the navel in and out with the breath as you tuck the pelvis under and nose comes up. And hold it for 3, 2, 1, and back down. Okay, so you've got the rhythm there. Take a nice breath in, scoop those abs a bit. Breath comes out as you come up for 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's do a few more. Take a breath in and out for 3, 2, 1. Good. Take a breath in and out for 3, 2, 1. Let's do 2 more. Take a breath in for 3, 2, 1. Good. Take a breath in and out for 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's go ahead and bring those knees in and rock it around just a little bit. Nice. Okay. Let's go ahead and do some crossovers here. So we're in the same position here. We're lying flat. Our feet are about hip width apart, and we're going to bring the hands back behind the head as they were with the fingertips on the scalp. Plant those feet firmly. Take a breath in. And all we're going to do is bring one elbow to the opposite knee. So start on either side you want. Take a breath in. The other elbow stays flat and open. And reach across. As you reach, breathe out. So if you're not sure where to breathe, you're breathing, you're exhaling on exertion. So this move here is exerting effort. So we're going to breathe out. Good. Take a breath in. Try to hold those knees open and stable. so they're not flopping out or in toward each other. Take a breath in and out as you reach over. Good. Now you've got the rhythm here. Take a breath in and out. Good. A few more. Take a breath in and out. So again, use the core, use the middle here to do the work and not your neck. Relax the neck into the fingertips. I know it's hard to do when you're trying to do a sit-up in this position, but just keep the focus in the middle where that belly button is pulled in. Let's do one more each side. Take a breath in and out. Good. In and out. And we've got one more set. You're doing great, I can just tell. Take a breath in and out. Now, this is not the time to go to the bathroom and get a drink and hang out. Let's go strong through the workout. It's not too long, and you can do all those things when you're done. Last time. Good. All right, let's bring those knees in, and let's rock back and forth. Good. Let's take a nice long stretch here. Reach it nice and long. So I've got my fingers pointed. I'm going to flex my toes back. I don't think you could probably see them here. You can just see the middle of the body, but I'm pressing the toes out away and the heels into the mat and reaching my fingers long. Good. All right, let's go ahead and come up into a bridge, and then we'll do some seated work here. So we're going to come into the same position with the feet about hip width apart. Palms are flat. We're going to take a nice breath in, and we're going to pull the navel in as we breathe out, and each vertebra just kind of pulls up off the mat or the floor very easily, accentuating each one as you come up into this bridge position. Okay? So you've got a nice balance here from the knee to the hip, right down to the shoulders. And we'll just hold this for a few breaths. So we're not going to just leave the abs hanging out. We're going to keep them engaged. If you want, and you want a little more flexibility here, and you have flexibility, you want a little more stretch, you can just bring the shoulders under and tuck the pelvis under a bit and bring the hands together in the middle. Good. Okay, let's go ahead and bring it down. Knees come in, and I'm going to rock up. And I'm going to face you as we work our muscles in a little different plane here. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling good and you're ready to finish with us here. Let's go ahead and do some reverse planks here. So we're going to bring the fingers toward the feet. And all we're going to do here is gently tuck the pelvis under, and we're going to lift the hips up. Okay? So here we are. We're just going to hold it for 3, 2, 1, and down. This works the back of the body. The triceps are really not in the core area, but we get a nice tricep workout when we lift our hips into a reverse plank. Take a breath in, tuck the pelvis under, and come up, off of the hips. Now, if this is too much for you, feel free to just take it a little lower to the ground and just lift a little bit. That's totally fine. What we don't want to do is lock those elbows out. We want to keep them soft in the back. So try that again. Tuck the pelvis under, and let's just hold this low if you want. Lock the heels out, and you can bring it for 3, 2, 1, and let's do one more. You notice that my head is not bobbing back or forward. I've got a nice neutral neck position as I do this. Take a breath in, coming up. The shoulders are not hiked up. They're relaxed. The elbows are not locked. And I'm going to hold it for 3, 2, 1. Good. All right, let's go ahead and come forward just for a nice, relaxing stretch. We will begin adding a few stretches in here as we get closer to the end. So go ahead and bring it down. Good. Go ahead and come up. Now we're going to do some planks for the front of the body here. So we'll come into a prone position, which is face down. Okay, I'll climb up here so that you can see me in the camera what I'm doing here. So I'm going to sit up nice and tall here through the elbows. You're just going to push up like you're seated on the elbows, and you're going to sit up nice and tall. So you've got a nice length in the neck. Your head is really reaching toward the sky, toward the ceiling. Just give a nice stretch here. And then let's take a nice breath out as we come down, and we're going to scoop the abs under, coming up on the knees, and I'm going to just look down here for about 3 seconds. Don't hold your breath. For 3, 2, 1. Good. Now this is a nice modified plank. We'll do a few more, and then we'll go into a little bit harder plank, but make sure that you can do this first and feel comfortable doing it. So we're going to pull that navel up and in as we do this. Take a breath in and out. 4, 3, 2, 1, and back down. Let's do 2 more. Take a breath in and out as you curl under. Pelvis is curled under, and then you're going to pull the navel in for 3, 2, 1, and we'll do 1 more. Go ahead and pull it up. Make sure the navel is pulled into the spine. Your head is just dropped enough so that you can look between those arms for 3, 2, 1. Good. Now, if you want to take this, we'll do 2 more. We'll take it to a little harder position here. You can come up, bring your hands together in the middle, and clasp your hands. And then you can go ahead and come up on the toes. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, and down. So pull the navel up and in. Last time. Curl it up. Lift the knees for 3, 2, 1. Good. The knees come up. Let's take a nice stretch back here. Should feel good. And breathe. Good. All right, let's work on some of those back muscles here. Obviously, the back of the body is included in the core. So let's work on some strength moves for the extensors and the back of the body. All right, so we were in this position before. We were just kind of like we were seated on our forearms, if you will. And we've got a nice length going on through that head and neck, reaching up long. Now this may be enough for you, which is just great to stay in this stretch. It stretches the back all the way down. If you want to bring it down here, take a breath in and out, and we're just going to lift those back feet together. Okay? So you can see, I hope a little bit here. It looks like my feet are maybe out of the picture here, but we're lifting the feet behind us. Good. Let's do 2 more. Your body stays on the mat or the floor. Take a breath in and lift those feet together. For 3, 2, 1. I'll do that 2 more times. Again, I'm looking toward the camera, toward you, but you will keep your head down toward your hands. Take a breath in. For 3, and out. 2, 1. And let's just do 1 more. Take a breath in, lift those feet for 3, 2, 1. Nice job. All right, let's go ahead and bring it back up. And I love to kind of get a nice little counter stretch here for that position that we just were arching. It's always nice to counter it with a nice forward resting position. So if this is too much for you, you can just come up to the knees like this. You can open the knees for a little deeper stretch. Stretch the hip flexors. And come on down. Just take a breath. And stay here just for a few breaths. Good. All right, let's go ahead and come on up. We are ready for a few stretches. I hope you've enjoyed it. It hasn't been too hard for you. This is a great one to do a few times a week, just to keep that core strong. All right, so let's come to a cross-legged position here. Okay, and we're just going to get into a nice seated position here of rest, letting the hips relax and the knees flop open. And some people aren't comfortable in this position. If you don't have a lot of flexibility, feel free to bring your feet up this way. It's totally fine. But we are just going to now stretch into that side lie that we've worked. So reach it over long. And again, feel free to keep your feet this way and knees up, or you can bring the feet in close to the body. And now we're going to hold this with the breath out. So I like to keep my navel still pulled in here because this is a stretch, but I also want to keep engagement here. That keeps a nice strong core too. More breaths. This is the time to stretch. It holds the strength in the muscles. So no fair skipping this. This is a really good part and very necessary. Go ahead and come up, reach in long, and we'll come overhead. Just really lengthen that arm, point those fingers, pull that navel in, allow that side lie to stretch open. Good. Last breath here and out. Let's go ahead and stretch the inner thighs and the groin area with a butterfly position. Again, if this is hard for you to get your feet together, just feel free to bring the feet out as much as you need to get into this little V position here. Ideally, we like to bring the feet in close to the body. The midline of the body is right here in the middle of the body. So I'd like to challenge you to try to bring the heels in just a little bit further if you can. And then we're going to just cross our wrists here, grab the ankles. We're going to pull up on those ankles as we gently push those knees toward the ground. And if you don't like this position, it doesn't feel good to you, just feel free to gently push those knees open. This is a really good one. It's a little tug of war here. It's a great stretch and strength all together here. And breathe. Reach to the top of that head. Just gently pull and gently push down with the knees. Continue to get this really nice stretch. Good. Breathing. All right. Let's just do the last stretch here, which is a little twist here. You have a few options. If you want to bring the leg out, you may do that. You can also bring it in closer to the body, whatever feels right for you. I'm going to tuck mine in a little closer to get a little deeper stretch here in that hip flexor. We're going to basket weave those fingers together and gently pull the knee again across the midline. And you have a band that runs all the way down the leg here, the iliotibial band. This is a great stretch. If you're a runner, bike or swim or walk, this is a really nice stretch for that. So begin to pull it across. Keep the abs engaged here, and we're going to just gently turn that chin. You can use your hand to get a little momentum here as you turn. Keep the chin parallel so that you're not tucking or hanging back here. Nice balance here between just looking off to the side here. The neck is in neutral, so everything is balanced here. And just rest. It's a lot of tension for you. Just feel free to kind of pull it in with the elbow and just rest this way. Breathe. Let's do the other side. Coming back to the front, same thing applies here. You can bring this leg out and come over. You can also bring the foot in. Good. All right, let's go ahead and basket weave those fingers, and we're just gently going to pull that knee across the midline. It's really good to pull it in across because then you get that stretch in that IT band, which we talked about on the other side. Make sure you're seated nice and tall here through the top of that head. Reaches straight up. It's good to have a nice alignment here as you're seated and twisting. Navel's pulled in just a bit, and we're going to start to turn that chin now. And reach that arm back, a little momentum here if you want, and turn. You don't have to make the turn, but it is a nice spinal twist. Touches the neck, sides of the neck and the back. And breathe. Again, feel free to bring the elbow across and gently pull the knee in that way and turn and rest. Breathing normally. Nice. Good. All right, so the workout is finished. We just have another moment here for resting and our scripture. So go ahead wherever you're at. I hope you won't skip this part. It's just a minute and the rest is really good after we've stretched. So go ahead and lie down wherever you are at home. You can lie on your bed, on your mat, on your carpet. And I'm not going to lie down because I'm going to be speaking here. So go ahead and do that and get into a comfortable position. Letting those hands just come out from the body and turn up toward the sky. You can also just let the feet flop open if you're lying down into a nice relaxed position where the feet are open so that your hips can relax. And we're going to begin to take a few nice deep breaths here. In through the nose and out the mouth. In through the nose and out the mouth. So as you release the breath, release any tension out through the fingertips and out through the toes. Let the body very heavy into the mat or to the floor. As you really embrace this few minutes here of just quiet rest. Breathing into the nose and out. And one more time. Breathe into the nose and out through the mouth. Good. All right, go ahead and make sure that your eyes are closed here. Remembering that we talked about Ephesians 5:18 at the beginning, to be filled with the Spirit. It's a very powerful command. So if you don't know the Lord, if you don't know Jesus, feel free. I have an email in this that's linked into this page, the ECCFit page. I would love to talk with you more about that, or you can speak with any of the pastors at ECC. If you do believe and you are a follower, we want to use every moment that we can, especially in the morning as you wake, to read and pray and really be filled with that Spirit. Ask God, fill me with your Spirit, because I want to do your work. I want to live in love and in peace and in unity with the Lord and with others. So again, just take another breath in here and release it out. I want to thank you for joining me and others who are doing this workout. There are other workouts to enjoy depending on what your mood is. I'm a firm believer in listening to your body, doing the workout that feels good to your body on a certain day. You don't have to be rigid and hyper-focused on exercise. Just move your body and do what feels good in the moment. Thank you and have a wonderful day.